Welcome to Founders Future, a podcast powered by Closers.io, where we dive into the journeys of innovative entrepreneurs and explore the road ahead of them and their companies. I'm your host, Olivia Salmons, and in each episode, we'll uncover the stories behind impactful ventures, the challenges faced along the way, and the strategies driving their future growth. Today, I'm joined by Spencer Vaughn, founder of Amenity, a creator, entrepreneur, who's built his brand around authenticity, lifestyle-aligned entrepreneurship, and the idea that you don't need an office, a big team, or a traditional pathway to build a meaningful business. With his coaching and content, Spencer helps people build solo or small team businesses rooted in personal values, restlessness, and freedom, rather than hustle or hype. Spencer, welcome to Founders Future. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Yeah, glad to be here.
Glad to have you here, and I really appreciate your time. So typically with all of my guests, I do like to start at the beginning of their journey. So if you don't mind taking me back to what it was you was doing before you started the company, and then from there, what was the motivation behind it?
Yeah, 100%. So my entire adult life, I've been in sales leadership and in, retail, things like that. And it started even when I was in high school years ago. Just enjoyed business, really loved it. And so when I got into the big box retail stuff, thoroughly enjoyed all of that. I love kind of the hustle and bustle of, helping people in retail, things like that. And then transitioned into more of a traditional sales situation, right? So like I and still do sell furniture for a local furniture company in town. I run a handful of furniture stores here in Northeast Arkansas. And after a while, I really started to think, a couple things. One, I really love what I'm doing here, but I wanted to build something for myself. Instead of spending all of these hours and all of this time and all of this effort just building for someone else, that I still enjoy doing because I love the current environment, but also, building for myself and building for my family and that kind of thing. So that kind of, along with watching some YouTube content and podcasts and stuff like that, really spurned into helping myself and helping other people do that, and really kind of taking grasp on boring business. So
I love it. Boring business. And we don't want to be boring in business either. That's just such a dead vibe. So let's dive into that a little bit more then. So walk me through at the moment, like who would you say like is your ideal customer? And then from there, how is it you help them and how would you support them?
yeah, absolutely. So I really love people who want to follow the journey that I followed in those things. So if someone who's looking for being able to build something for themselves and better themselves, and take what they know and what they love into their own hands and into the next level, that's where I was and and honestly I think will be forever, always wanting to figure out how to grow and to be better and move to the next steps of the journey. So
Yeah, that's so beautiful and helping other people along the way. It must
yeah.
be like such a fulfilling situation for you as well. Knowing you're helping massive people kind of achieve the same things that you're striving to achieve as well.
Yeah, 1000%. Because there's so much enjoyment for me in watching it click for somebody else, kind
Yeah.
of seeing the twinkle when it happens for other people. It's incredible. It's my favorite thing.
I love that. And then, so walk me through what it'd be like to work with you, Spencer. So this is on like a one-to-one level, or are there programs that maybe I can follow along? Like, what would it be like to be your client at the moment?
Yeah, very much. Just I do my best to do small time stuff. So one-on-one stuff, because not that there isn't merit in group work, because there absolutely is, but one-to-one, being able to really hone down and dive into what does Olivia need help with, or where is Olivia at, meeting you where you're at is such a big deal. And it's so important because everyone enters the growth phase of their journey in a different spot. And so it's very unique to each individual person.
Yeah, so a very like tailored and custom approach based around their goals.
Yeah.
Is there a lot of like inner work as well? Helping people find those goals must be kind of a challenge if they haven't uncovered that themselves either.
Yeah, that's a great point, actually, because some people know, and I've found myself in I think every stage of this, and a lot of people do. That you want more, or you want growth, or you want something else, but you don't know exactly what that looks like, and it takes a lot of introspection and a lot of self reflection, and it's not always easy, but yeah, absolutely, that's a piece of it.
I can imagine. And also, in that being said as well, is it important to you have that kind of relationship with your clients as well? So you can't necessarily help everybody. There has to be like a foundation of we need to get on personally as well and take it from there.
Yes, because and I'm I'm not for everybody. It's I always like to say, but you have to have a common ground of truly wanting similar things, I think, in order to do what we just talked about of meeting someone where
Yeah.
they're at. I can't help everybody as much as I would love to. But yeah, you've got to have some semblance of understanding kind of what we're here to do, where you want to be, and how I can help you out.
Yeah. How Spencer can be that guy for you. Um,
Exactly. Or maybe not, and that's okay too.
and that is okay too. And that's the whole point of it, just having that good fit on both sides. And then how do you go about acquiring your customers then? So like in terms of channels or methods, like what do you find most effective for yourself?
Yeah, a lot of so my like personal Facebook is one of those things, local folks, but LinkedIn has been pretty incredible too. So I'm sure you're familiar with like Gary Vaynerchuk and Gary Vee. He, a couple
Yeah.
years ago had said, LinkedIn's kind of the untapped market for B2B stuff, but I think it's just such a powerful tool because I say that everyone is strong, but people who are on LinkedIn are on there for a reason, and
Yeah.
it's a cool tool being able to write articles on LinkedIn because everyone has access to them and stuff like that has been big.
Yeah, it's definitely like a hub for people that have got ambition in life. Whereas some of the other ones,
Yes,
of course, they're obviously everyone's on Facebook, everyone's on Instagram, but you'll find like places like TikTok are maybe slightly more diluted with the type of clients that you can probably
right.
find along that kind of mindset. So are you also still a solopreneur at the moment, or do you have kind of a team helping you out on the back end of things and maybe doing some outreach for you?
Yeah, just me still. I think that scaling, a lot of people, and I've talked to others about this, can get into the headspace of wanting to grow like internally like that, and you just
Yeah.
don't need to. There's a lot of things that you can do if you systemize correctly and process correctly, then you don't really need to kind of cut into your own pocketbook on hiring stuff. I do employ folks in some other business ventures that I have, but on this kind of thing, you just don't need to too
Yeah.
early because it can definitely kind of break your back on. Then you've got other people relying on you, and that's a big stressor and a big deal that not everyone's ready for.
Yeah, so keeping it streamlined is definitely key moving
Hmm.
forward. But then
Yeah.
again, how do you go about like juggling all those many hats? So like as a founder, there's a lot of jobs to do. How do you go about navigating that yourself? Obviously, with the automations, it makes it a lot easier coming in. But what other strategies or like tips can you leave with people?
Yeah, automation is a big deal, no doubt about it. And today, in the age of AI and AI agents and those kinds of things, there's some cost to that, no doubt, but
Yeah.
it's a lot less expensive and less stressful often than hiring, humans. I love employing people, no doubt, but when you're looking at early stage growth, finding process is huge. I'm a big process guy. If you can systemize things with AI agents or not, but your own workflows, it's huge. It saves, I cannot tell you how many hours I've saved in just the fact that when I'm onboarding a client or if I am in my vending business, if I am, scouting a new location, if I am setting up a new machine for installs, or if I am, offboarding a client that has seems to be at the growth stage where they're comfortable with that. All of those things have processes. And so
Yeah.
as long as I know what I'm doing on the front end, getting to the back end of that is no sweat.
Yeah, I love it. It also, like for me, especially within the coaching world, you kind of having those systems and operations behind you is kind of what helps you stand out amongst everybody else because you can
Yes.
work on that like fulfillment side and making sure you are specializing in your field. And then, Spencer, with that being said, so like what are your ambitions and your goals with the coaching business? Are you looking to scale it? Like, what does that vision look like for you when you think about it?
Yeah, I think I've got probably the same vision that most people do our age, where I don't want to work ever. And yet in order to never work ever, you have to work all the time, always.
That's
And
true.
so in 5, 10 years from now, the goal is always to be to let these things happen and be in place where I can offload a bunch of the work and really just spend time with my family. And we do enjoy traveling. We don't do so much right now because we are in growth phases, but
Yeah.
spending as much time with my family. I have a newborn, a month old tomorrow. And so, spending as much time with them is the goal for sure. Scaling this thing to the point where it can exist and live without me. And I'll,
Yeah.
I'll be there though.
I love that. And happy birthday to your month old. That must be really
Yes,
cool to
it
have.
is. It's so exciting and so stressful.
Yeah. Another stress you probably didn't need at the moment is such
you
in the
know,
startup phases. I suppose, and then to kind of get it to that next level, how are you looking to do that? Are you planning to run maybe some form of ads and really bring in the traffic and generate leads like that?
yeah, I think that there's a lot of merit in online ads. Meta does a really good job when it comes to
Yeah.
targeting and things like that. So probably increasing that side of our ad budget, but also, word of mouth and hand to hand referrals are a big deal. And so finding ways to expand that within the markets that I'm already in is something that we're looking really heavy at. Like, how do we really take advantage of referral business is probably our biggest current look at.
Yeah. And have you found like a way to do that yet? Or are we still kind of in the work?
Yeah. So one of the things that we're looking at now is when we're talking to clients that we have, the big thing that a lot of people just miss in any industry in referral business is we just don't ask for it. Asking for it in the first place. If have I done you a good service? And if so, tell you what, we are on a contract already, but the last month of our contract is coming up. We will set an X amount of, essentially like a referral bonus. If you can get
Yeah.
somebody else that we end up onboarding, then we're actually going to we'll, either lower the amount of your contract or loosen the terms of something like that. And that's been a little, already we're starting to see some success with that.
Yeah, that's good. So offering value up front and then
Mhm.
obviously having that testimonial that's come through as well. So even the
Yeah.
referral is slightly warmer and both parties, I guess, get a nice fee out of it as well.
Yeah, because when it comes to any kind of sales thing, and that's all that piece of it is, it's,
Yeah.
a sale is made when value exceeds cost.
Yeah.
That's the deal. And so with a warm referral, that value is already kind of built in. And so being able to really expand that and kind of take advantage of that is huge.
And that is the joy of referrals, as you say, they're kind of already warm and ready to go. So it's
Yeah,
like, it's just the, as you say, like the consistency in referrals and getting them in. So if you can lock that in as well as running some ads, like the lead flow will be really nice and hot coming through.
absolutely. And finding that process, like I talked about earlier, and
Yeah.
honing that in and tweaking it as we go is going to be big for us.
Beautiful. And Spencer, what would you say like is the best piece of advice you've ever received about scaling a business?
Yeah, I think that it really comes with from a leadership perspective. I had a professor in college, which I did not finish. I didn't finish college, but I had a business professor there that told me, like, listen, leadership is going to scale your business, whatever you decide to get into. And so if you take anything out, this was actually not in class. We had a coffee, and he said, take every ounce of blame and give every ounce of credit. And when you find how to do that, the business and the scale and everything else will come to you. And I've carried that with me forever. And that was 12 years ago, I think. I feel
Wow.
like I'm getting old now. So
Wise words. When you put things in perspective, it does make you feel a little bit sick sometimes when you get to our age.
I
And
know.
yeah, all right. And then, so I suppose, Spencer, I have one final question to ask you before we log off. So, if you could go back in time and you could only leave yourself with one piece of advice moving forward, something you know now but that you didn't know then, what would you say to yourself?
Start faster, start sooner,
Just
take aggressive, sometimes irresponsible action, and do it now.
awesome. I love it. And what a great way to end the podcast. So, thank you so much for joining me today. Where can our listeners reach out to work with you or connect with you if they would like to do so?
Yeah, my X profile, though it is slightly more personal than it is business, of course. My LinkedIn would be the probably more professional way. If you want to see just the professional side of what we do, it's over there.
I think we want to see all of it. So head out to X and LinkedIn. And is it Spencer Vaughn across both platforms?
It's TH3 Spencer V on both of those.
Perfect. Awesome. And thank you again for joining us. And to our listeners, if you enjoyed this episode, please do not forget to subscribe to Founders Future by wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts. And if you are a business owner, specifically a coach, consultant, or agency owner, and you're really looking to scale your business and you want to enhance your sales and marketing efforts, visit closers.io to hop on a call with one of our team and discover how we went from $0 to $30 million per year in less than 3 years. But until then, keep on climbing, and we will see you on the next one.